It felt like a highly produced PowerPoint for your community college American history class.
Or for your church, maybe.
Or your church, even more.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah. And,
Hello!
Oh my God!
Hey.
No, I wasn't ready.
Serious?
Hey.
Dude.
I wasn't ready.
Hey, knock it off.
Welcome to the Talkies.
No. Start over from top with more urgency.
Got it. Hello! Welcome to the Talkies.
No, that's not quite right. There's more at stake.
ooh, that's the best direction I've ever heard.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Talkies. This is where three filmmakers talking about movies. I'm Kenny.
I'm D.
I'm Taylor. That's
that
perfect.
enough
That was
urgency?
perfect.
Was that good?
We'll take that.
It was intense. It
Yeah.
was fast. And
Check the gate.
Anyway,
Clear the gate.
this is the place where we talk about
Expose the film.
And if we sound a little bit weirdly off today, it's because
We're drunk.
Probably the alcohol has something to do with it, but I think the bigger reason is because we just had to sit through a movie called Reagan. Some Reagan fanboys found a way to pull together $25 million and made a movie with Dennis Quaid.
Okay, now give the hot take. Go.
Me first?
Yes.
Oh, okay. This was a bad movie.
Wow. I can't believe you said that.
Your turn, D. Go.
Oh, this might be the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yay! All right, Taylor, go.
You know what? This actually might give Joker a run for worst movie of the year.
Joker 2.
Joker 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I think Joker 2 might be a little worse.
This is making me want to watch Joker 2.
Yeah, that's making me want to watch Joker 2.
Now I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
Point is, this is one of the worst movies I've seen this year.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
This had like an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes.
18% critics rating.
Right. And then 98%.
98% audience rating.
Yeah. Which is insane.
That's the biggest spread I've ever seen on Rotten Tomatoes. A literal 80-point spread.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
But it makes sense when you think about it.
I suppose
It makes perfect
Because
sense.
the critics whose job it was to see this movie saw it for what it was.
Right.
But no one else went and saw this movie except for people who love Ronald Reagan and wanted to see a movie about him. And this is Reagan fan porn.
No, 100%.
What
Yeah.
this is.
100%.
Yeah. And the it's funny because I've seen biopics before and I hate. I mean, we've all seen biopics.
Hate most biopics.
Yeah,
I think that's a
pretty
fair
bad.
assessment.
Most of the time they're bad.
Yeah, but the ones that I've seen like lately, like Elvis was a fun one because it's
Austin Lerman.
Butler.
yeah, Lerman, like it has his fingerprint.
Very
all over the place.
stylized.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody was really bad, but it was at least having fun with the material.
Yeah.
And this was like not fun so much as it was. You called it a history presentation.
It felt like a highly produced PowerPoint for your community college American history class.
or for your church, maybe.
Or
Oh,
your
yeah.
church,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, strange.
The whole movie felt like a montage.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, with no beginning, middle, or end.
Yeah.
Just
And very little, like, it assumes you know all the history.
Right.
So there's not a lot of context.
yeah, it didn't fill you in on anything that was going on. There were so many times where I was just like, wait a minute, what are we talking about now?
Right. And there's no story arc.
No story.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just the bullet points of his life. That's what I was wondering, like, halfway through. I was like, where's this movie going to go? Because he just did his thing and moved on. It wasn't like there was a big, like, statement he made at the
Right.
end or, like,
That's
they
the
tried to wrap
This
it into the
movie
Cold War. Or,
certainly seemed to suggest that he saved America
Yeah.
from the communist threat
That-
single-handedly.
That's what they wrap it all up in him bringing down the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Right. Right.
And I guess that would be the
and that
big
was
thing.
the end of the Soviet Empire.
And this movie is all about winning and losing, which is what they say. Period stuff was terrible.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing you pointed out with the parking spots on the street.
Yeah, the angled,
amazing.
modern angled parking spots
Yeah,
in like
this
the
was supposed to be
1920s.
1920s, and they got a bunch of 1920s cars, but they didn't change the fact that the street is all modernized.
Right.
Including having those like 45-degree angle parking spots up and down the street.
And you have painted white.
was-
the white painted lines everywhere.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, with the white painted lines, including like the zigzaggy crosswalk.
Early age,
1922, that street
his mother, Nellie, pushed him to read poetry and Bible verses in their church.
Well, anybody can be God's people.
Yeah,
So long as they seek
It's so
him.
modern.
Did you memorize those verses so fast?
No, no.
Jesus
I just read it.
The visual effects were like surprisingly bad.
Very bad.
Bad
You can-
rotoscope,
yeah.
bad chroma key.
Yeah.
Well, you could tell all the VFX were to solve problems and not because they were planning to do VFX.
Right.
It was like, oh shit,
That's
this is
huge.
like this, so we
That's
need to
huge.
fix it.
That's what it feels like. Yeah, there were so many TVs, showing footage of the president and whatnot. And every time that they cut to a TV, I was like surprised. I'm like, oh shit, they actually have a tube TV, like a CRT one that's reproducing a picture. That's really cool. And they had a lot that didn't do it.
Yeah.
Ones that were keyed in. And I was like, why? Why are you having both? And but I think it's definitely that. I think a lot of it was just done improperly, I guess, on set.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's one scene where I can't remember who he was sitting with. He was sitting with someone in front of a fireplace, and the fire was 100%
Gorbachev.
fake. Yeah. The fire was 100% in post.
Right.
And that's a weird decision because it looks worse. It's harder to do.
It is, yeah.
And
And it's very noticeable.
it's very noticeable. It's distracting.
Yeah.
So what that is, and that's also not a problem either that they're fixing in post because that's an on-set decision.
Right.
They're like, we're going to have a fire here, but we're going to do it in post.
Yeah. And you can tell from the lighting effects too.
Exactly. It was intended. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why would he decide to do that?
I don't know.
My theory is in the director's head, he thought it would be more challenging to keep continuity with a fire. If you have a fire going and you have, let's say you're shooting for
Smaller and dimmer.
Yeah, exactly. You're shooting for like 4 hours. You got to keep it going. Someone's got to tend the fire.
Log configuration changes.
That's
yeah.
stupid. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's my theory,
yeah.
which is bad filmmaking.
Right.
That's just being lazy.
Right. Right.
And then the other thing that is like, I don't know, debatable as bad filmmaking is just, it's this thing that comes up, I think, with biopics specifically, because are you one trying to make a movie, right? Whereas you're trying to tell a story that is just a story that anyone could watch, or are you trying to just communicate to a subset of people who are a fan of a person?
Right.
Correct.
And so that's why
Right.
when you said it feels like a presentation, I really felt that because you're not, because in stories you're presenting context. And in here, you're just presenting points.
Yeah.
As if people already know the context.
And so Dennis Quaid is a good actor.
Right.
Like we've seen him be a good actor in many different movies,
Yeah, we just gushed about it.
including The Substance.
Right.
He was great in The Substance just recently. But I really felt like his performance was hampered by basically trying to keep doing this Ronald Reagan impression,
Yeah.
right? He was trying to do the Ronald Reagan voice and movements and stuff, which is only necessary if you are purposely presenting to fans of Ronald Reagan.
Right. Trying to recreate
Like, do you
the
think
image.
I would notice or care if Dennis Quaid sounded like Dennis Quaid
Right.
Sure.
in this movie?
Right.
I would not.
Or the the forcing of jelly beans in every shot.
Right.
That's
right.
just ridiculous.
This was all to just make a connection to the people who already cared deeply about Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
And so they're there waiting to see all those little cues that go, ooh, Reagan, that's a Reagan thing. I remember that. I love that.
Right.
And that's not a movie.
Yeah, it's
That's not what a movie is.
It's not even. It's not a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like the beginning of the Republican cinematic universe.
Oh, I can't wait. What's next?
Oh, The
Out of
Apprentice.
George H.W. Bush.
The Apprentice is next.
The Apprentice. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I say that because
The HW movie?
Yeah.
God, that sounds really boring.
really boring.
Yeah.
I say that because there are Marvel things in this movie because Marvel is a lot of fan service. So it's a lot of, this character, the character does the character trait, and then all the Marvel fans masturbate over it, which is really great.
Yeah.
It is really great.
Same thing happens in this movie
Sure
where
does.
all the Republicans
Maybe
who are
worse.
really big Reagan fans or whoever's really big Reagan fans, they see him and like, oh, this character. Oh, I know Reagan likes jelly beans. Oh, I'll shoot jelly beans.
Yeah,
Oh, scream.
100%.
And that's weird to do that for a political figure.
Maybe that's why it felt so strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they're not a superhero. They're not
No,
fictional.
exactly.
It's a real person.
There is sort of a mythos of like what was that review we looked at, and we Googled the word. It was a really weird word.
Oh, right. The Variety said it. Yeah.
Said a weird word that meant like a biopic or on.
It said writing of words of a saint.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was to idolize somebody.
Yeah. And
that's what this is. It's a glorification and a hero story, making somebody a superhero who was really just a guy.
Yeah, to say the thing that I knew that once I said it, it would alienate all the people who clicked on our video because they saw that we're talking about Reagan.
The talkies goes political.
This was such a blatant circle jerk
Yeah.
that we're all still wiping the cum out of our eyes. It was that bad. It was that bad.
Yeah,
we got the Elmer's glue shower. It was the worst of that kind of genre, though. It really was.
It was bad.
It's really funny. Going back to your analogy of Marvel superheroes, I was thinking about the thing that I really hated about is it not Miss Marvel, but who's the one? Was it Brie Larson? Is that her name? That does
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. So yeah, the Captain Marvel movie I really didn't like because she was flawless in the movie.
Yeah, she's basically Superman.
Right, right. And so doing that, I remember going back to older superhero movies like Superman, where they don't feel human, right? Which of course they're not, but you want to feel something for them to, go over a curve, like Neo, the Matrix. He doesn't believe himself, people like that.
Hero's journey, at least.
Yeah. And the reason why they do it all the time in superheroes, I think, is just because they're so godlike and insane. And then this movie has the same issue with their script, where he has no flaws.
Right.
Like Reagan always has. He has a platitude to say.
Yes.
An idiom. Something.
He's perfect.
He's perfect.
He's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, he comes across and he nails everything and is the perfect person all the time.
Even the biggest flaw of his political career, which was the Iran controversy,
right?
They turned into still like a personal virtue triumph.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't understand the conclusion the movie makes about that point.
No, not at all.
No,
I kind of feel like they kind of brush it off, like they address it and then don't say anything about it.
That's also what Ronald Reagan fans do with that one, because it's ugly, and they go like, actually, it was fine because he said sorry.
Oh yeah, the movie, that is what the movie says.
Right.
The movie says the Russian dude, he's like, Americans will go after you forever, but if you look them in the eye and admit a mistake, they'll forgive you every time.
Right. Like it's, oh God. Dude.
Therefore, Reagan good.
Yeah.
So he's back to being flawless.
He was.
So not only is Reagan good, Reagan is even better because he can admit his mistake.
And it's weird though, because like in order to relate to someone to really feel like they're a good person, you need to have flaws that they overcome.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that I hate about biopics a lot, is that they never, because they're heroic figures. In Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury never had flaws, right? And if he did, it was like, oh fuck, he has flaws because he's going through that shit. Everyone goes through that.
Sure.
But it's that kind of thing. It's never a believable flaw.
Do you remember the line he says?
Right, that's what I was going to say.
TV,
right,
he says like, in my heart,
right.
I still believe I did the right thing.
Right, like he was being bullied.
The facts say that I did the wrong thing. But in my heart, I still believe I did the right thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, exactly. Like, how is that delivered in the movie, written as is, and you're supposed to,
he's the hero still.
And you're supposed to still like Reagan.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I feel like this movie doesn't make Reagan out to be like it doesn't look good to me.
That's what's so weird, is that it feels like
I know the movie's
because
insisting
it's
that
not
he is
made for you.
I understand that as
for
well.
This very specific audience that already loves him.
Right.
Yeah.
And that might be why they constrained it to a $25 million budget, because they knew we could be profitable with the Reagan fans out there.
Right, sure.
Maybe so. Because I was shocked when I saw that budget level.
No, I thought it was $5 million.
Well, it doesn't look like very much money, but this is Ronald Reagan we're talking about.
Right.
Like, I'm shocked they couldn't raise $100 million.
Oh, for more, sure.
To make $100 million movie.
Yeah.
Like, they want this movie to feel like Forrest Gump, like this epic that just spans across decades and is just ongoing saga of a life.
But it's a movie that's like barely had a theatrical run, made by a director who's known for made-for-TV movies.
Right.
Yeah. Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Zach and
the
Cody.
movie.
I liked Sweet Life growing up.
Of course.
I watched that.
Who doesn't like the Sweet Life?
It's the Sweet Life.
Hell yeah.
I never saw Sweet Life.
I haven't either, actually.
That was my generation.
I bet it was.
You boomers.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
You wee little bear.
I'm
a
a
wee
silent
lad.
generation.
Yeah. Silent generation.
Yeah.
You're 95
I'm
years
95.
old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit.
You look great.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm impressed.
Sorry, Skibbity Toilet. Is that something that?
Yeah, that's hip.
Cool.
That's really hip with it.
I did it.
Congrats.
Oh my God.
Dude, I saw a Skibbity Toilet at Walmart.
I saw that too. They have a toy.
They have a toy with G-Man's head
They do.
inside the toilet.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
How is Valve not
I don't know.
shutting them down?
G-Man.
Maybe they're in on it.
G-Man's in the toilet, and they're selling it at Walmart.
When we were watching it and we were like 30 to 40 minutes in, we kept saying out loud to the movie, like, please give me conflict.
Yeah.
Where is the conflict? I'm so ready for the conflict.
Yeah.
To a system,
feels like a
to a
stage
society,
play.
a society that
Just
ignores the
making
working man.
And then he meets Nancy.
Nancy's the conflict.
This was really funny because we had seen scenes already in the past of him with his previous wife and kids.
Right.
But there were no scenes
You're
that
talking
said that marriage fell apart
Right.
and he got divorced. That wasn't part of the movie.
You're saying that the conflict was
So all of a sudden,
him cheating.
Nancy walks in and is like, hey, and he's like, hey, and then they're like,
Right.
let's go riding together. And I'm like, holy shit, is he cheating on his wife with Nancy? Is that how this? And I'm like, okay, here we go. We got a movie coming together now. But no, then they're just like, he's like, life's hard for me as a divorced man. And I'm like, what the?
Now you say that?
We just skipped over your marriage falling apart. Just skipped over it,
That's
you
it.
know?
Yeah.
Because the audience is supposed to already know that.
I suppose.
That's what I
Yeah.
think.
It was
That's what I
funny
think.
because I pointed out I think you pointed out the jelly beans, and it's something that's one of the only things I know about Reagan is that he
Actually,
loved,
I'd never heard it before.
that he loved jelly beans. And so it was funny that when you pointed them out, you were just like, why the fuck are there jelly beans everywhere? And it makes sense. Yeah, why the fuck are there jelly beans everywhere?
Like really in the shot.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's
super on purpose.
it's just one of those things that, again, if you're familiar with Reagan, then you understand the shit that's happening.
Yeah. I think I would call that the Marvel wink. It's a new phrase.
great.
The Marvel wink.
I love that.
Hey, you know the character. Here's a little character trait. It's on the screen.
A very, very,
Except
very
if it were like
obvious wink.
If it were like a good movie, like a movie from like a great filmmaker and maybe a studio like A24, you would spot
Like a good studio like A24?
you would spot the jar of jelly beans and be like, what the hell is going on here? You'd be like, what does this mean?
Yeah, right.
You would start to like follow the jelly beans and be like, they're trying to tell us something. Like, that's how weird the jelly beans were in the
Right.
movie.
Sure.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's only not weird if you're indoctrinated in the lore of Ronald Reagan.
Right. Well, yeah, and it goes against filmmaking. I mean, you and I talked about on Three Body Problem the close-up shots of, I forgot the dude's name now, but Samuel Tarly, that guy.
His name is Jack.
He has these trinkets that his friends look at, and there's close-ups of the trinkets as if we're like, oh shit, but there's nothing. They mean nothing. In fact, one of them is
anything to give them relevance.
right. One of them is even a meta joke from the filmmakers on the actor himself, and it's like,
Oh, weird.
yeah, and it's like that's not filmmaking, guys.
Yeah, we're supposed to communicate to the audience,
Right.
not to the actor. You know,
That's for the people who are wink, 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 wink. That's what that is.
The wink.
It's the wink.
indeed.
Yeah.
This was some bad writing.
Really,
Dude,
above everything else.
I've never seen a husband and wife with less
They looked,
chemistry.
Yeah.
and supposedly, Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan was like this romance for the ages. Like people just loved
Right.
the couple and how much they seemed to love each other.
Yeah.
And that was not on the screen at all.
No, and it wasn't even like in arguments or anything like that. It was when they're delivering lines to each other, it feels like first-time actors delivering lines to each other, waiting for the next person to finish
And
their
the
line.
first take every time.
Yeah,
and the first time screenwriter.
Like they saw the script that day
right.
for the first time.
Yeah, and even some of the actions, dude, the takes, the one shot that just totally blows me away of how bad it is when Dennis Quaid comes around it's during the last part of the movie where he comes around the library part of his house and he looks for a book and pulls it out while the Russian dude is narrating, and he goes,
Yeah.
puts it back in and then walks away. And I'm like, what is going on? Let's
Yeah.
do that take again, please.
Yeah.
The verbal and visual exposition
Yeah,
felt like a stage play.
it did. Yeah.
Felt very stagey.
We all laughed at the the guy who was acting drunk in the bar because his tie was over here.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. They're like, yeah, just like I imagine the director was like, yeah, just take your tie, just push it over here. It'll tell everyone that you're drunk.
Oh, so brilliant.
Everyone will know you're drunk because the tie is crooked,
Because the tie is crooked.
loose and crooked.
That's what that means.
Therefore, you're
And he's
drunk.
loud.
And actually, that happened to Ronald Reagan.
It did.
In the scene when he got drunk.
Oh,
It
God,
did, yeah.
dude. And that scene was crazy when he went out to bum a cigarette or whatever.
That was a weird fucking scene.
Yeah, because he just sold out and did some meaningless
He
Pabst
was
Blue Ribbon
dude,
thing.
His ego must be massive. He's blowing that way out of proportion.
Way
He's
out of-
that pissed
Yeah.
about doing a little sponsored thing.
Yeah,
like his
seriously.
life is crumbling.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
getting smashed
Yeah,
on
like,
PBR.
This is the end of my life to see this. This is the worst thing
He
ever.
lashes out. He's throwing things at
Yeah, and he's
sign.
like, my career's dead.
Yeah, he throws it at the very, very loud buzzing sign.
Extremely bright, extremely loud, 100% CGI
Yeah, extremely fake.
scene. Yeah, sign. Weird.
Yeah.
Just weird.
Super strange, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say 50% of the movie was newspaper.
Literally, yeah. Like more than fucking Citizen Kane.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
That was another moment where I thought that maybe some, drama was coming into the story.
Right.
Because he sold out and did this thing and his wife's ashamed of him.
Yeah.
And now he's drunk.
Right.
Stumbles out into the hallway with the showgirls and is like, give me a smoke. And he's like drunk. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, it was a good 4
It
minutes.
meant nothing.
It was a good 4
nothing.
minutes
It
of
meant
nothing.
nothing. Like there were so many scenes that pop up as though they have something profound to say, and they mean nothing to they don't do anything.
If anything, the movie justifies his feeling of like being better than a PBR sponsored
Totally.
Yeah.
event.
Totally.
And like the next thing that kind of ends up happening is his pivot to politics.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, see, it was just a dead end. Hollywood was a dead end. Go get into politics and change the world.
So he decided to go for being the president because his acting career sucked.
No, I wish that were the thing. That's not what happened though, because we like made fun of that scene where he was on the couch, like talking to Nancy, being like, oh, you know what they're doing wrong, and
Yeah.
this, and he's speaking like a fucking crazy guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, I thought I married an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually sounds like your uncle that's all into conspiracy
That's
theories.
what I felt like too.
Yeah. And then Nancy's like, well, clearly you should be president
Yeah, and
instead
so-
of an actor.
Yeah, so
And
that
he's
was
like,
the thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It
was-
he'd always had that drive.
It was like trying to show that it cares and knows,
Right.
like has an idea of how to run the country, but in practice, the scene made it feel like he was crazy.
Yeah.
He sounded like an insane person.
of a major failure on the filmmaker's side, I found the communists much more empathetic than I did Ronald Reagan.
It was.
Well, the communists seemed very empathetic towards Reagan.
I was gonna
Even-
say,
yeah, like
they
they
were
cared about
the
him.
most human people.
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
It felt like they were adoring him.
Like the scene where the guy says that, Reagan took away our motherland. And he's like, you think communism is the motherland?
Right.
Tolstoy is the motherland. Chekhov is the motherland. And I was like, oh, let's watch a movie about this guy.
Right.
Like all of a sudden, you're more interesting than Reagan is right now,
Completely.
Why are we talking about Reagan?
Completely.
Yeah.
One shot that stuck out to me on a technical level was the shot when Reagan and it might have been Nancy, I'm not sure, were standing in a cemetery.
God.
And it was a 100% chroma key shot. They were literally on a full green screen.
They're in a digital
psych wall.
cemetery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a CGI whatever cemetery.
I feel like they did that multiple times.
A couple times they did. They did it in front of the White House too once.
Right.
But I don't get it.
Why not
Why
just shoot?
can't you go to a cemetery?
There's a
Yeah.
lot of cemetery locations.
I'll bet you
They're not that hard to get.
I don't get it.
It was probably a logistics thing.
We could get a cemetery to
Like,
shoot in.
like we couldn't get like
next week.
Logistics in the sense that Dennis Quaid can't be here this day,
Maybe.
but
Exactly.
but
Maybe.
this green psych wall is right next to him.
Well, yeah.
Well, also,
exactly.
like-
yeah.
Like they had a location that had a bunch of oak trees, but they wanted it to look like
Right.
Point Reyes.
So they
So they're like, well,
rotoed.
yeah, they put a whole
Yeah.
fake oceanscape in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, and they
didn't do it well.
Didn't do a good
they
job.
Failed.
Yeah.
Like horribly.
The first chroma key shot of the movie, which was the guy inside the Russian dude inside the car, was fucked up.
Bad.
the first
yeah.
one, the first key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I have something important to say, guys.
Please
Buckle
please.
your seatbelts.
Oh, hold on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Click.
Thank
click.
you.
Yeah.
Because in the early moments of watching the film, I think within like the first 5 minutes was when Taylor and I said something to the effect of, "Oh my God, this feels like a highly produced YouTube video."
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
It did feel that way.
It really did?
Yeah.
Like
felt
I
like,
look
wow,
up
this is a
these
great
videos
video.
for my
Yeah,
kids
exactly, yeah.
for their school, right? We're just like, oh, you need to learn about Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
And I find like, oh, here's a cool video about the history of Alexander, and it looks like that. It just looks like
absolutely-
that. And that's
yeah.
the best of the best on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, you
or-
never fucking put it in a cinema.
No.
Right?
No. Or it's like a mid-tier Netflix thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I bring that up because that
Uh-oh.
is content.
Oh shit.
And kind of a magical thing happened while Taylor was in the crapper.
I was shitting.
Yeah, at that moment, I was sitting here by myself, and Dee walks in, and Dee goes, "I have something I want to say," and I turn to him and I go, "I know what you want to
Yep.
say."
And that was exactly
And
it.
I
Yeah.
said, "I agree with you," and he was like, "Oh shit, you do know what I'm going to say," and I'm like, "I do.
Yeah.
Let's say it when Taylor's here and are on the show."
Yep.
I think
We communicated telepathely.
Yeah.
Let's get,
Wow.
let's get something.
yeah.
I've been waiting to hear this. This is
Yeah,
my
so
first one.
I think this is a like the most obvious 100% unanimous content award winner we
Wait, we gotta take.
content.
We have to take votes though. To go through the process.
I call for a vote.
I second the vote.
There we go.
Okay. Now the vote can go into motion.
The vote can go into motion.
All right.
Shall we designate Reagan as a content award winner, putting it with our only other 2 content award winners, Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder.
For Rebel Moon and Rebel Moon Part 2, respectively.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Respectively. Yeah.
I have
Disrespectively.
all in favor. We're voting, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Cast your votes.
I
many?
cast 8 votes
8
because I have
votes.
no hesitation at all. This is absolutely a content award winner.
This is out of 8 votes.
Yeah,
right?
8 out of 8.
I also cast 8 votes.
Wow. I would just want to say that the thought actually did not cross my mind, but as soon as you've brought it up, it was a no-brainer. Full 8 votes.
Wow.
Whoa, hey.
Because it
It's a
is
no-brainer.
content.
Yeah, it
hey,
is.
so
It is.
grab the trophy.
Get the trophy.
This is the little. What are these called again? Bubble heads.
Funko
dolls.
Pop.
Funko Pop.
Funko. This is the Funko
Funky
character
Poppy.
from Rebel Moon.
This is our trophy. This is our
Yeah,
And we
this
use
is
that now to.
Congratulations, Reagan.
Yeah,
to
Reagan,
signify.
you are only the third ever recipient of the Content Award.
Amazing.
Which is our award for the absolute worst of the worst movies.
movies that deserve to be called content,
Right.
rather than cinema.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we thought we were being funny with Mr. Zack Snyder there because he obviously put a lot of effort into his movies, but they were pretty bad. Reagan just straight up feels like we pulled it off of YouTube.
Reagan is worse than both Rebel Moon movies, I think.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say this out loud. The worst movie that I've seen since talkies started was Winchester.
Still to this day?
No,
Okay.
no more.
Hey.
No more.
Is Reagan the worst?
Reagan's
Really?
the worst I've
Wow.
seen.
Hell
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was bad.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a Rebel Moon figure because Rebel Moon was the first Content Award winner.
Right. So respect,
Respect. Yeah.
All right. So we like to recognize the directors of these movies
Right.
Typically.
Right.
So Sean McNamara. Yeah. Sean McNamara. You are a recipient of the Content Award from
Hey.
Carmeline Studios.
Congratulations.
We just
It's
reach
the-
out. We will happily send you a trophy.
It is the lowest honor
It
you
is.
can.
Yeah. But if you want it, we will send you an actual trophy and laurels.
We will?
Yes. We'll send you laurels and we invite you to come on to the show.
We do?
Yes, we do. Anytime. If you'd like to.
I would have liked if you discussed this with us beforehand.
Yeah, I never
don't want to
agreed to
like.
That doesn't require votes.
What?
That's a non-voting topic.
you shitting me?
Yep.
That's
So-
a Patreon exclusive right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So come on the show anytime to accept your award or defend your art
Answer for yourself.
and answer for your sins.
Oh yeah, this is worse than Antebellum. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It's worse than Antebellum.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, at some point, maybe we should go back and decide if retroactively Antebellum and
Might be a few,
Winchester
yeah.
deserve this trophy.
Yeah.
There's probably a couple others in there as well, but
Maybe.
I'm
Death
almost
Wish.
certain there. Yeah, maybe. I'm almost certain there's some other old ones.
this was a specially bad movie.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Horrible.
Great.
Yeah, and the highlight of my whole night was me and Dee reading each other's minds. That was the best.
That was great. Okay, so I got a question for y'all.
Hey,
Okay.
hey,
Hey.
go on. Go on then.
Think about this, okay?
All right.
You know how the What are you doing? Why are you in a different space than I am?
Blimey. Huh? All right.
So you know how movies are thumbs up or
They
or
are. They are.
stars?
Yes.
Stars.
They are,
Stars,
both.
Yeah.
So in that same
Maybe
vein,
out
Fame-
of 10.
Vein.
yeah, in the same vein,
Okay.
what would this movie be if it were a pizza?
Oh, shit.
perfect.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I understand what you
Yeah,
mean.
sorry,
I
hit the
completely
microphone, so-
understand that right now.
I understand what you mean
I
because
instantly intuited.
because I've been doing the talkies since the beginning.
Yeah. I have some experience with pizza rating,
Okay.
even though our audience may not.
Well, if this were the experience of having a pizza,
So what you're saying is, if Reagan
Yes.
was a pizza,
yes,
what kind of pizza would it be?
exactly,
I understand.
exactly.
Yep.
Well, what do you think? What do you think?
Oh, it's easy.
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I called the local pizzeria and order a pizza for delivery. But something catastrophic happens in the world. Maybe communism takes over. I don't know. Between my order being placed and my delivery. But the pizza company, God bless them, still wants to deliver, even though the world has completely fallen apart.
That's really generous.
They
for
really
them.
want to
Good for them.
because they believe in the American way.
That's
Hard
heroic.
work.
and capitalism.
Hard work.
Hard work.
Hard
Yep.
work.
Good for
Wow.
them.
Good
Gip-
American.
the Gipper.
Extremely difficult.
The Gipper.
work.
The Gipper's delivering my
Oh, the
pizza.
Dutch?
Body
Yeah.
breaking work.
Yeah, but of course they can't obviously deliver a good pizza because the world's ended. So they show up with a can of canned ravioli. And they're like, here's your pizza, sir. And I'm like, this is definitely not a pizza. This is a can of ravioli. And they're like, it's the best we can do. Can you just pretend it's a pizza? And I'm like, I guess I'll try. And I'm like, this is expired. It's not even good anymore. It's like it's expired. And when you open it up, everything's like a solid lump, and it's like black. And that's it.
That's terrible.
You're saying the type of
there was like a little hole in the can, so it wasn't airtight. And so like 10 years ago, it turned into a solid mass.
10 years ago.
Yeah, it's an old can of Chef Boyardee.
So just a lump of coal now.
So this pizza
Yeah.
is a can of old and expired ravioli.
When you want
Not even a pizza. Yeah.
Specifically when you already paid for pizza.
Oh man, and paid for too.
Yeah.
And the world's ending.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Yeah, that's certainly that's that.
Yep.
What do you got, Taylor?
This is, I'm going to say this is a frozen gas station pizza, like a personal size from the freezer section of a gas station.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Tony's brand.
Tony's is nah.
Actually, maybe you're right. Maybe it's
Tony's
worse.
is too good.
Yeah,
It might be. Tony's might be a little too good.
A knockoff Tony's.
Yeah, you know what? It's the gas
gross.
station. It's the gas station in-house brand.
It's their brand.
Yeah,
7-Eleven pizza.
7-Eleven branded.
It's white
Pizza.
label pizza.
Yes. No, it's not a 7-Eleven. It's a rural mom and pop shop.
All right.
Oh, hey.
Like in fucking Kentucky, and you try it, and they say you can use our microwave to
What is going on?
Well, I'll be right back. It's fine.
oh
Is it Talkies first?
you left.
So Kenny, what were you saying about? Right.
Would you go that far as to? Yeah,
Totally. Actually, I disagree with that.
you disagree with that?
I disagree with that completely.
I tend to agree a little bit with Kenny, but not all the way.
Right.
I'll never go all the way with Kenny.
Okay. I wouldn't either.
Never.
Never.
Really?
What do you have to say about
You
that?
would? You would.
It sounds like we're talking over each other right now. Could you shut up for a little bit, please?
Fuck up.
Jesus Christ. Ronald Reagan.
Man up, pee your pants, and sit in it.
Hey,
Sorry about that. Yeah, what's up?
pizza.
Right, so
You were talking about pizza?
pizza rating
Your pizza rating.
is, this is a Lunchly pizza. Lunchly.
Is that like a Lunchable?
Yes, it is. It's the Lunchable knockoff created by Logan Paul, Mr. Beast, and KSI.
What?
That it had, just a side on the, they came out with a competitor. They shielded a lot, and then their packaging was really bad, so they shipped a lot of moldy,
Oh my
a lot of
Wow, I
moldy
missed this story.
cheese.
You did miss this
It was a
story,
whole thing.
It's amazing.
And then they was
Okay.
discontinued in the span of
Mr. Beast and
Logan Paul discontinued in the span of a month. Okay, anyway, that's an aside.
All right, so it's one of those.
So it's one of those. It is moldy,
And you eat it, of course.
and it's just disgusting.
Wow.
It's just disgusting.
It's a Lunchly pizza, though.
It's a Lunchly pizza.
Drippy cheese.
Does
it have drippy cheese, though?
No.
Is its cheese
It's mold.
drippy?
No, it's because it's not the nacho. It's the pizza one.
Right.
So there's no drippy cheese. It's all shredded moldy cheese.
Right. Okay.
It's blue
Wow.
cheese.
It's blue cheese.
Oh God, well it is now.
If I have to call it a pizza, I mean, I'm more in line with what Kenny was going on about with the ravioli. 'Cause, I mean, it really wasn't even a pizza.
Oh, wow.
I don't think
Okay.
we should call it this a movie, so that's
Okay.
makes sense to me.
Oh, this is going to be difficult. There's islands out there that have...
There are?
Yes, there's islands out there.
Several.
Correct.
Yes. There's islands out there that are undiscovered that have people, people.
Oh, yeah,
that are disconnected from
uncontacted tribes,
civilization.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
uncontacted.
There's probably a few of those.
Yeah, uncontacted islands. You go to one of those islands.
island.
Yeah. You go.
That's been contacted though.
Well, I guess it has
Yeah.
now.
You go to one of those islands, one of the ones that have attacked, Amazon drones and
Right,
and
right,
stuff,
right,
right?
yeah.
Okay, you go to one of these islands, and you ask you ask the people there, can you make me a pizza? Right, like you're demanding it. Like
They've never heard of pizza.
they don't even know your language, but but you're
They don't even know what you're just making.
you're just
sounds
making
at
stuff
them.
sounds,
All
and you're like,
right,
make
okay.
me a pizza, right? And so they take you, hostage somehow. And then they sit you down and they start yelling their language at you, and you have no idea what they're saying. and eventually you try to communicate, a circle, like that. And then so they start talking amongst themselves, and they do end up serving you something to eat. But what it is not pizza in the slightest. I'm not sure what you could call
Whatever
it.
they could figure out.
Yeah. So you have, I don't know, whatever it is there. You have a circle of something. Okay.
Fermented fish.
Yeah. It's flesh of some sort. Yeah. So flesh of something. And then you keep telling them, no, you put stuff on it, right? And they're just like, what is this, right? And so they go like sand, and they put sand all over it, and they give it to you, and you're not eating it, and they're like, what are you doing? Eat. And so they start shoving it into your face and making you eat it. That's this movie.
Yeah, that's bad. Did they
really
kill
bad.
you in like some kind of ritual after?
If
maybe-
they're savages, yeah.
Do you eat
I'm not
the
sure.
pizza?
Or you have to.
Well, maybe their pizza is a part of a ritual they're doing.
Maybe it is.
Could it have been a psychoactive, like ayahuasca? Maybe.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca
I'm gonna
pizza?
start tripping.
No, no, it's not that good. Yeah. No, it's just tastes horrible. The texture, it's just sand.
I would not want to trip into the Reagan movie.
Right.
Holy fuck, that would be a bad trip.
That'd be a bad trip.
Bad trip pizza.
Really bad trip.
There you go.
That was bad.
Thank you. So was canned ravioli.
That was bad.
and
bad
and
movie.
I wouldn't want a lunchly either. So
Really bad movie.
yeah.
Well, congratulations to the
Hey.
team behind Reagan for joining the ranks of
Zack Snyder.
Rebel Moon 1 and 2 as one of the worst movies we've ever seen.
That's incredible.
Reagan makes Rebel Moon look good.
Kind of does, actually.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's bad.
kind of makes me feel sick.
Well, I never
I feel kind of sick
like,
about that fact.
There's
Like,
always been
oh.
a joke to me that nothing is worse than Winchester. I've never seen a worse movie, and this was bad. This was worse.
Really bad.
Yeah.
We should watch Winchester again.
Revisit it.
I don't want
Just
to do
to
that
see
again.
if we still feel the same way.
That day for night sequence keeps me away.
I don't know. I
movie.
think that
That movie was boring
It was
more
a
than
very
anything.
Very boring. I don't
Very
remember anything
dull.
about it except for the day for night. And the ginger kid.
creepy ginger kid.
Maybe. I don't remember. Do you remember The Boy 2? We saw The Boy 2. Do you remember that?
We did. I do remember.
I
that.
do remember that. That was horrible.
That was that
was
probably should
horrible.
have one of these too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Smile. We saw Smile.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, this has been the Talkies.
End us talkies.
End us
I'm
Talkies.
gonna end us now.
End us.
Please end me.
So before we end us, let me just say, hey, come and join us over at
Discord.
Discord.
We got a Discord.
That's exactly what I
Yeah,
was
come
about to
fucking
say.
talk about movies and poop on shit. You gotta
Poop on shit.
Yeah. Poop on shit. I meant poop on movies.
When he says
with us.
poop on shit, we mean have a educated conversation about movies.
That's what I meant, obviously.
yeah.
Yeah, if you want to come talk about movies with us
And if you want to come, that's fine too.
and you want to come, we have a cum dungeon.
We should have a channel in the Discord called Come Dungeon.
Well, we just watched the biggest circle jerk of my life.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I guess it's fitting.
All right.
Guess it's fitting. Well, until next time,
Yep. Fade to black.
fade to black.